Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to talk about the locking differential system. If you haven't watched my earlier episode, the episode 2 in which we spoke about the open differential, I would recommend you go to my YouTube channel and have a look at it, because without that आप ये समझ नहीं पाओगे कि locking differential क्या होता है. So I would recommend you please go ahead and watch that first. Okay, now to begin with the locking differential thing. The basic of locking differential is that when a differential is locked in a lock position, both the wheels rotate at the same time. In an open differential, both the wheels rotate at different speeds. So in a locking differential, if one of the wheel is off the ground, the other wheel will still have traction and you can move ahead, which cannot happen in a open differential system. So that was the vulnerability we spoke about in the last video. So now, where does the locking differential help us? Locking differential helps us on an obstacle which is, let's suppose, extremely rocky and high incline. That is where locking differential works. In a locking differential, before you begin the obstacle, you put the vehicle into 4 low and then switch on the diff, lock the diff. Certain vehicles have a switch inside the car which locks the diff, and certain vehicles works differently. We will talk about that later part in the video. So you switch on the diff, which is lock the rear diff, and then move ahead in the obstacle. That will allow you to go through the obstacle. Lowest of RPM obviously, and you should be able to, on a rocky terrain, you should be able to move forward. Now in certain vehicles like the Jeep Rubicon that we have here, and in the Indian context you have the Ford Endeavour, which has a switch inside the cabin where you can switch on and off the rear locking diff. Okay, but in a vehicle like the Mahindra Thar, let's suppose the new Mahindra Thar, in the new Mahindra Thar they have something called as a mechanical locking differential on the rear axle and a brake locking differential at the front. In a mechanical locking differential, you do not have any switches in the car. So in a Mahindra Thar, you will have just the 3 modes, which is 2 high, 4 high and 4 low. The locking and the unlocking of the diff works automatically. You do not have that control. So in a Mahindra Thar, basically, if the vehicle senses that one of the wheel is free, that is the front wheel, any of the front wheel is free in the air, it will automatically apply brake on that particular wheel, so that the power is automatically transferred to the other wheel and the wheel moves out. Differential open ही है, differential fully locked position में नहीं है at the front, but in the rear of the Mahindra Thar it has something called as a mechanical locking differential, in which it works the same way as the braking lock, but here there is basically a hook kind of a mechanism inside the differential, which after a certain RPM it automatically sends power to the other wheel and you move out. So basically होता क्या है, in a mechanical locking differential, आप जैसे थोड़ा फंस गए हो, एक व्हील ऊपर हवा में चल रहा है, आपका रेयर व्हील की बात कर रहे हैं हम, तो रेयर व्हील, एनी वन व्हील इज अप इन द एयर और आप फंस गए हो, तो जस्ट गिव द व्हीकल अ लिटिल रेव, ओके, स्लाइटली आप एक्सेलरेट करो, जैसे थोड़ा हवा में घूमेगा, इमीडिएटली आपको एक झटका मिलेगा, like a snap. That snap basically locks the other diff and you will be out because the power is transferred to the wheel which is stuck and you're out of the obstacle. So that is how it works. This is a very common this thing, the mechanical locking diff is a very common technology, and now it has been coming. The first Thar which came, it did not have this, but the newer generation Thars and the latest one which has come up has mechanical locking differential on the rear and the brake locking differential in the front. Okay, so that makes us a very competent off-roader, and this is how the locking differential works, and this is how the vulnerability of the open differential system is achieved. Okay, this is how you this is what is the solution for a vehicle with an open differential, and how the locking works on a vehicle like Thar or for that matter the Ford Endeavour or anything like that. अब आपको एक चीज़ ध्यान में रखना चाहिए कि जब आप लॉकर यूज़ कर रहे हो, एक्सटर्नली भी आते हैं, आप अलग से भी लगा सकते हो आपकी गाड़ी में, जैसे पुरानी थार है आपके पास, तो आप लॉकर्स डाल सकते हो, इंस्टॉल करते हो, इट्स एन एक्सेसरी, सो इट इज, बट वन थिंग दैट यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट इन फ्रंट ऑफ एन ऑब्स्टिकल आप तभी उसको एंगेज करो लॉकर को जब आपको ज़रूरत हो, और जैसे ही ऑब्स्टिकल क्लियर हो जाए इमीडिएटली स्विच इट ऑफ, बिकॉज लॉकर ऐसी चीज़ है जो आप ऑन करके साधारण रोड पे नहीं चला सकते. द इंजन इज गोइंग टू बिकम वेरी कोर्स एंड एट द सेम टाइम द टायर वियर एंड टियर भी बन जाएगा एंड देयर इज़ अ चांस कि एक्सल वाइंड अप हो जाए. सो वंस यू आर डन विद इट, लॉकर हैज़ टू बी स्विच्ड ऑफ, डिफ लॉक को वापस ओपन कर दीजिए एंड देन नॉर्मल गाड़ी चलाइए. Okay, so this is how the locking differential works, and most of you asked me questions कि कोई एक सिचुएशन अगर आ रही है तो किस तरीके से कौन सा गियर यूज़ करना चाहिए, या फोर लो यूज़ करना चाहिए या फोर हाई यूज़ करना चाहिए. आई हैव ट्राइड टू रिप्लाई टू मोस्ट ऑफ देम, बट द अंडरलाइनिंग थिंग इज दैट द जजमेंट कॉल इज ऑन यू. वॉट यू वॉन्ट आउट ऑफ योर कार वो आपको ज़्यादा बेहतर पता है. सो आप मुझे बोलोगे कि एक चीज़ बताइए कि अगर मैं रॉक्स पे चला रहा हूँ तो मेरे को किस टाइप का गियर यूज़ करना चाहिए, या लो में चलाना चाहिए या हाई में चलाना चाहिए, या फर्स्ट गियर में चलाना चाहिए सेकंड गियर में चलाना चाहिए. वो जजमेंट कॉल ऑब्स्टिकल को देख के और आपकी गाड़ी आप कौन सी चला रहे हो उसके ऊपर वो आप डिसाइड कर सकते हो. इट इज़ वेरी वेरी सिचुएशनल एंड सब्जेक्टिव. सो देर इज़ नो डिफाइंड रूल कि इफ़ देर इज़ अ सर्टन ऑब्स्टिकल इसी तरह चलानी चाहिए, ऐसे कोई डिफाइंड रूल कहीं पे भी नहीं है. You make that judgment call, the driver makes the judgment call कि on a particular obstacle whether he has to select the second gear or the first gear, or whether he wants torque, or whether he wants to crawl, or whether he wants speed out of it. That is how, depending upon that, you select your gear and select your ratio. Alright, so like and share guys. I hope you like this episode, and this got a little longer, but I tried to make it very precise and try to put in a lot of gyan in this one. So अगर थोड़ा लंबा हो गया तो आई एम सो सॉरी. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच. लाइक एंड शेयर गाइज, एंड इंशाल्लाह आई विल सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट एपिसोड. थैंक यू वेरी मच. बाय बाय.